Another day of the daily antidote of song. Today is special because we're doing another uh, American Folklife Center Archive Challenge Day with Jen and Steve from the Library of Congress American Folklife Center. And it's great to see you all. I'm Jaden. I'm gonna be helloing and goodbying you all. And it is day 1201. So big cheer for that of the Daily Antidote song that we've been doing this. And it's great to see everybody. First, hello to everyone watching on the live stream. Welcome. Thanks for joining and watching. And hello to Joe Rossi. Thanks for doing this whole crazy thing and being here today. Hi, Jen and Steve from the Library of Congress. Thanks for being here and hosting today. Hello to our song leader, Vedanth. It's great to see you and we can't wait to hear more from you. And hello to Kevin in DC. Hello to Athena. Thanks for joining. Hello, Delhi and Silver Spring. Hi, Trish and Victoria, BC. Hi, Susan G in Ohio. Hello, Deborah in Kentucky. Hello, Cricket in Maryland. Hi, Sheila in Florida. Good to see you. Hello, Shruti, who's another one of our song leaders and hosts coming in from Pune, India. Great to see you today. And Arlene in Berkeley, good to see you. Hello, Bob Gaser and Gary and Kathleen in Albuquerque, good to see you. Mr. James Harkless in Silver Spring, Maryland. Hello to Carolyn in Boise and Clive in Birmingham, UK. Hello, Nancy and the Irish Cow. Hello, Susan in Seattle and Anne in Silver Spring. And Jane in Texas, welcome. And Ruth in Birmingham, UK. Hello, Bonnie, who is in Boise, I believe. And Bob in Massachusetts, welcome. Hello, Annette in California. Mabel and a bear in Massachusetts. Hi, Fred in Silver Spring. I see one curly top, that's Willard in Vermont, and Linda on Orcas Island. Hello, Martha in Oregon. Hello, Hindi and Anne Moon in Virginia. Welcome. Hoda in BC and Kat in Vermont and Lynn in Connecticut. It's great to see you all and be here with you today. And I'm gonna turn it over to Jen and Steve to take it away.
All right.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you again. As some of you know, I'm Jennifer Cutting, and this is my colleague, Stephen Winnick. We are folk life specialists for the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C. And I was trained as an ethnomusicologist, which just means the study of music in culture. And Steve was trained as a folklorist. And we have the great good fortune to work in a part of the Library of Congress dedicated to preserving cultural heritage. It's called the American Folklife Center. So welcome to the third of 4 Archive Challenge Thursdays on the Daily Antidote of Song, when the American Folklife Center, AFC for short, at the Library of Congress has partnered with Carpe Diem Arts to bring you a brand new archival gem. In today's case, 2 gems, every Thursday in July.
So I'll just talk a little bit about the library. So, the Library of Congress, that beautiful place up on Capitol Hill, was established in 1800. So it's the first of our federal cultural institutions, the earliest established. It's also the largest library in the world, which we love to be. And the American Folklife Center is a small part of that. We have about 30 people, and we're kind of our national folklore study center and archive. In addition to maintaining that archive of about 7 million items, we also provide reference services. We produce concerts and lectures and symposia. I write blogs and do podcasts. And one of the fun things we do is the Archive Challenge, where we invite artists to learn a song from our collections and put their own spin on it. And we'll tell you a bit more about that soon, about different ways in which we do that. And we'll tell you a bit more about our featured field recording as well. So we hope you have time to stay a little bit after the singing, but we wanted to get everyone singing as soon as possible.
Absolutely. And today's song leader, Vedanth Bharadwaj, is coming to us from India, where he is a performer, film and theater music composer and sound designer. He's a choir director, he's a workshop leader, so many things. Because Vedanth started studying Indian classical music at age 4, he went on to learn Western European art music too, as well as Western popular music. His own compositions and arrangements kind of achieve an effortless blending of Eastern and Western influences. And he's very capable of complex layering in his work. As I was listening to it on his website, there's some very complex, wonderfully multi-layered work there, but he still values the beauty of one single unaccompanied folk melody. And that is exactly what he has unearthed in our archive in order to bring to us today. Over to you, Vedanth.
Wow, thank you so much, Jennifer. I feel so humbled by that introduction, and it's lovely to meet you all in person. And when I went through the website, I was so overwhelmed with the amount of songs, and it's just so exciting to see that. And thank you so much to Joe and Daily Antidote to get us together, and so I feel so lucky to be part of this evening. So shall I sing? Alright. So these are two songs. One is about a father who's trying to play with his son, and I think after the play is all over, the mother's the next song is about mother trying to make the baby sleep. There are two different songs which I'm going to try and put together, because even in the field recording it was just one after the other, but let's see if we can find a way to bring the family together. Dance to your daddy, my little laddie. Dance to your daddy, my little man. You shall have a fishy in your little dishy. You shall have a fishy when the boat comes in. Dance to your daddy, my little laddie. Dance to your daddy, my little man. You shall have a fishy in your little dishy. You shall have a fishy when the boat comes in. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. If that mockingbird don't sing, Mama's gonna buy you a wedding ring. If that wedding ring turns brass, Mama's gonna buy a looking glass. If that looking glass gets broke, Mama's gonna buy you a billy goat. Goat don't pull, Mama's gonna buy you a cotton bull. If that cotton bull turns over, Mama's gonna buy you a dog named Rover. If that dog named Rover don't bark, woof, Mama's gonna buy you a horse and cart. horse and cart break down, you'll still be the sweetest little baby in town. Oh, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Vedanth. That was a fabulous groove that you gave it. So laid back.
Thank you.
I would definitely, you would definitely have me not falling asleep, but staying awake to listen to more and more. I love your version.
Thank you.
So, what drew you to those particular lullabies?
Well, I've been studying and researching, sharing lullabies with a friend of mine. We started this project during the lockdown. It was called Sing a Lullaby, which was a workshop we offered just like Daily Antidote and Shruti's Machan. Shruti Vishwanath, who introduced Joe and I together, and this is the third time I'm here, thanks to that. And so yeah, we just thought that we should, early on, when about 9 years back, when my daughter was born, I wanted to release a lullaby album, and which I never got around doing because daddyhood took over and never got around doing that. So then I was reminded of this when there was suddenly a lot of time in my hands during the lockdown. And a friend of mine, Guru Priya, and I, we collected and researched 52 lullabies over 52 weeks and learned and shared it with everyone, whoever joined us during that workshop, which was again online on Zoom. So since I've been lullabies have always been something that I've been curious about, and I believe that lullabies was probably the first genre in music ever made. I think
Yes,
it must be true.
and the
Yeah.
wonderful thing about lullabies is they're great for children, but everybody needs comfort and reassurance and relaxation. So
Oh
I think that
yes.
adults benefit from lullabies just as much as children.
Yeah. Anyone who loves to sleep.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
and that's pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Vedant. Why don't we
Yes.
turn to giving you a little bit of background on the source singer from the field
Yes.
recording that inspired you and the collection that it came from. So, the source singer for this song, Jean Ritchie, was born in 1922 as the youngest of 14 children in Viper, Kentucky, in the Cumberland Mountains, to one of the great ballad singing families of Kentucky. And with 14 children, you know there was some lullaby singing going on in that family. So, a few years before Jean was born in 1917, the famous English folk song collector Cecil Sharp collected songs from Jean's older sisters, May and Una. And it was a very musical family. Jean's father sang and played the Appalachian dulcimer, an instrument that Jean grew up to popularize all over the world by accompanying her singing with it during performances and using it on her albums. Let's see a photo of Jean Ritchie with her dulcimer.
All right,
There she is.
there's Jean as a young woman, and so Jean played and sang all the way through school and went to university and played and sang there, and she got a degree in social work. And after she graduated, she moved to New York City and she got a job at the Henry Street Settlement. And she attracted the attention of the whole folk scene in New York because she was so good at singing and playing, and she uh, also had, a lot of connections, and she had this job teaching children. And so she did play and sing a lot of children's songs and lullabies. And among the musicians who came to visit her and admired her there were people like Woody Guthrie and Oscar Brand and Pete Seeger and the folklorist Alan Lomax. And Lomax really became her lifelong friend and advocate, and he made extensive recordings of her ballads, her game songs, her carols and hymns. And those recordings were largely made in 1949 and 1950, but he continued to record her for many years after that. And so in some of these recordings, it's great. You can actually hear the car horns in the background because it's New York City, a New York City apartment. And so we can hear now Alan Lomax's recording of Gene Ritchie singing these two songs, Dance to Your Daddy and Mockingbird.
Dance to your daddy, my little laddie. Dance to your daddy, my little man. You shall have a fishy in your little dishy. You shall have a fishy when the boat comes in. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. If that mockingbird don't sing, Mommy's gonna buy you a wedding ring. If that wedding ring turns brass, Mama's gonna buy you a looking glass. And if that looking glass gets broke, Mommy's gonna buy you a billy goat. If that billy goat don't pull, Mommy's gonna buy you a cart and bull. If that cart and bull turns over, Mommy's gonna buy you a dog named Rover. If that dog named Rover won't bark, Mommy's gonna buy you a horse and cart. If that horse and cart breaks down, you'll still be the sweetest little baby in town.
So that's how Gene Ritchie sang these two songs.
And there have been others who popularized versions of the latter one, the Mockingbird song. My favorite pop version of it, I think, besides Vedanth's version, which I really love, and Gene Ritchie's, is the James Taylor and Carly Simon duet, which was released as the lead single from Carly Simon's fourth studio album, Hotcakes, in 1974. It became an instant hit. It went to number 5 on the Billboard Pop Singles chart, and they owed their version to an earlier R&B and soul version by, I'm thinking, Inez and Charlie Fox in 1963. So it was a remake of that. But it was that timeless element that people recognized from Mockingbird song that I think really made it lodge in everyone's consciousness that way.
Yeah, and so there's a question in the chat as to where Gene got these songs. In this particular case, we know because Alan Lomax asked her, and there's another recording which is very brief, but her just saying that she learned these two particular songs from other kids at school. So she said her parents didn't teach her these were ones that she learned at school. And that's interesting to me, partly because the Mockingbird song, which works great as a lullaby, other versions of it certainly are kid songs that kids sing. And when I was a kid, it was the lyrics, almost the same lyrics, were sung to the sort of hand jive dance that was called Hambone. So people went, Hambone, Hambone, have you heard? Papa's going to buy you a mockingbird. And that was another version of the same song. And that, of course, became another rock and roll hit. Bo Diddley is essentially a version of that. And Willie and the Hand Jive, there's a whole bunch of different rock and roll versions of the Hambone song, which are this same set of lyrics, or a similar set of conditions. If this thing doesn't work, we'll move on to that thing, and if this next thing doesn't work, then we go to the next one. So that's the way these songs work, and they were passed on not just from parents to children, but between children in school, and that's how Gene actually learned them. So you can listen to this song as many times as you like because the field recording is online, and so we can put that into the chat, the link for that.
They're on the Association for Cultural Equity site, which we call ACE for short, which is a wonderland of field recordings from our archive because they are our partner.
Right. So all the material at the Association for Cultural Equity is in the AFC archive. So it is part of the American Folklife Center's archive. But the Alan Lomax collection has a fairly complicated rights situation, and the Association for Cultural Equity, which is the foundation that he established during his lifetime, manages those rights and manages the online portion of that particular collection. So that's why it's at a separate website from the Library of Congress. It's just culturalequity.org. And you can actually hear all of Alan Lomax's 1949 to 1960s field recordings of Jean up on that site, and we can put that link for you into the chat as well. That's just a link to her person page over at the Association for Cultural Equity.
And there are some fabulous songs in there. I urge all of you to go in and just go jumping around, even if you only sample a couple minutes of each one. There's her repertoire was huge.
Yeah, and I'll just finish up Jean's story a little by saying that she was not only a great singer and performer, but she was also a folklorist and a collector in the field as well. From the 1950s on, in Britain and Ireland, as well as in her own home region of Appalachia in America, she recorded songs and music from some of the greatest traditional performers. And her husband, John Picco, happened to be a photographer and filmmaker. So the great thing about that collection is that not only do we have the music, but we have really great photographs of a lot of those people. And when Jean died, I wrote a tribute to her on our blog with embedded recordings and photos, and you can see that. We'll put a link to that in the chat as well. And that just shows you that you'll be able to see some of George's great photos of her doing field work and her performing, as well as hear some more recordings from our collections.
And speaking of blog posts, Steve and I collaborated on a blog post about how you can take the archive challenge. Library of Congress, American Folklife Center wants you to take the archive challenge. We do them in various venues. We do them at the Folk Alliance Conference, folk festivals where we're invited to do it. We do it in our own homegrown concert series. But when the pandemic hit, we had to come up with a way that our audiences could take the archive challenge right from home. And we put the instructions into a blog. So that is in the chat, and we encourage you to go spelunky through our online collection, spelunking to find a tune that inspires you and to do your own version and make a little video or audio recording.
Yeah, one of the things that we have in that blog post is a list of different places online, including the Library of Congress website and the Cultural Equity website, where our recordings live, because there's actually a fair number of them living in different little pockets of the web, because over the years, we recorded collections collaboratively with other institutions, and sometimes those institutions, like the University of Wisconsin in one case, the Center for Louisiana Studies in another case, have put them online separately from us. And so our blog, it sort of acts as a central clearinghouse where you can find all of our online collections, listen to them, and make a recording of your own. So now that we know a little about the history of this field recording and about the archive challenge, why don't we go back to the song? Vedanth, would you be willing to lead us in the song one more time?
Oh, yes, definitely. It was so nice how you all explained the whole history of the song, and I know a cat named Way Out Willie, one of my most favorite songs. But I'm going to definitely listen to the James Taylor one. One of my most favorite singers. Wow, but beautiful. Thank you for that beautiful description of the song. And now the song's going to dance in my mind a lot more. And I hope in all of yours too. Dance to your daddy, my little laddie. Dance to your daddy, my little man. You shall have the fishy in in your little dishy. You shall have a fishy when the boat comes in. Dance to your daddy, my little laddie. Dance to your daddy, my little man. You shall have a fishy in your little dishy. You shall have a fishy when the boat comes in. Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Mama's gonna buy you a mockingbird. If that mockingbird don't sing, Mama's gonna buy you a wedding ring. If that wedding ring turns brass, Mama's gonna buy you a looking glass. If that looking glass gets broke, Mama's gonna buy you a billy goat. If that billy goat don't pull, Mama's gonna buy you a cotton bull. If that cotton bull turns over, Mama's gonna buy you a dog named Rover. If that dog named Rover don't bark, Mama's gonna buy you a horse and cart. If that horse and cart break down, you'll still be the sweetest little baby in town.
Oh, thank you, Vedanth.
Thank
so
you.
much.
It's such a wonderful ambling groove. I'm going to be walking along today. Do, 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 do,
Yeah,
do, do, do.
it is.
So once again, we want to thank Vedanth for delving into the American Folklife Center archives collections, and I did send him a huge array of different collections to look through. So he had to do some sifting around.
It's
And
a treasure out there.
oh, thank you. And finding these two gems to sing with us today.
Yeah, we never know for sure when one of our artists comes from a different country from us, whether they would rather learn material from their country or from our country, because we often have both in the archive. And that was the case. We sent on some suggestions for Indian music to learn, but also American music. So
And we also want to thank the wonderful Jaden Brick, who keeps us up on our tech and welcomes us and gives us our farewells. And thanks to all of you for choosing to be with us today, for giving us the privilege of spending time with us to hear about the American Folklife Center archive and hear artists like Vedanth. And it's just a privilege to be able to share the Library of Congress's treasures with you. And
absolutely. And thanks also to Joe Rossi and Busy Graham and everyone at Carpe Diem Arts who supports this and helps it happen. And everyone, all of our colleagues at the Library of Congress and the American Folklife Center who help maintain these collections and present them to the public. We're part of a larger team there, and we like to acknowledge our colleagues there as well. So thank you all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for participating with us. And thanks for letting us share the archive with you.
Thank you, Steve and Jen, for all the work you do and making this happen and sharing your knowledge and your excitement about archival work with us. It really, like, we can feel how much you love this work, and it makes us love it too. So thanks for being here with us. Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you next week for the next Archive Challenge Day. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Vedanth, for being here and sharing those beautiful songs. It really is like a nice way to, well, for us to carry out the rest of our day, and for you, maybe it'll help you go to sleep. 'Cause I know it's
Thank
hard.
you, and thank you to Steve and Jen for helping me do this. And yeah, lovely, so lovely.
Thank
Yes,
you
so
so much.
wonderful to make these connections.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
And if everybody could help me say goodbye to the live stream, bye. Thank you for watching. And thank you for being here, Kevin in DC, and goodbye, Kathy in Virginia, Athena in Brooklyn. Thanks for joining today. Deli in Maryland, good to see you. Susan, oh, yeah, I don't have to do all the place names now. I forgot. Susan in Ohio. Thanks for being here. Deborah, great to see you. Cricket, goodbye. And Linda on Orcas Island, goodbye. Shruti, yay, I'm glad you could join us today. So good to see you dancing and singing along. And Arlene, love the fish puppet. I think that's what that is. Yeah, I love it, so colorful. Bob Gaser, thanks for joining today. Gary Pausner, great to see you. Kathleen, thanks for being here. Mr. Harkless, great to see you as always. Carolyn, thanks for joining today. And goodbye, Nancy and the Irish Cow. Susan in Seattle, great to see you. Anne in Silver Spring, thanks for being here. Goodbye, Ruth. Goodbye, Annette. Bye, Fred and Sheila as well. Diane, glad you could join today. And 3 curly tops in one screen. Thanks for joining and being here. Storm, thanks for being here today. And goodbye to Mabel and the bear and Bob. Oh, who's right next to you? That's funny. Bob, goodbye. And Trish, goodbye. Clive, thanks for joining, and Jamie as well. Jane in Texas, thanks for being here. Oh, goodbye, Joe. Thank you for being here. And Caroline in DC, Aloysius, good to see you. And thanks for joining today. Moon and Kat, Lynn, thanks for joining, and Jane in Silver Spring. Amanda and Miles, great to see you today. And Jane in Maryland, and Bonnie. Thank you all for being here today. Today's Thursday, tomorrow is Friday, and we have a community sing tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern time. And it'll be really fun. We'll have Dick and Kathy singing, and Sissa Paz and Andrea and Harold Blackford. So it's going to be really fun. And we'll see you then at 6:30 Eastern time. All right. Bye, everybody. Enjoy the rest.